Well, hello. It's Wednesday, January 6th, 2021. So I hope your new year is starting off with a bang. I wanted to share a little bit today with you about the devotional setting goals. Came across that this morning. I said, man, I've got to share that with everybody. We are today going to be in James chapter 4, verses 13 through 17. Come now, you who say today or tomorrow will go to such and such a city and spend a year there and engage in business and make a profit, yet you do not know what your life will be like tomorrow. You are just a vapor that appears for a little while and then vanishes away. I'm sure you've had some folks that you followed that were like that. Instead, you ought to say, if the Lord wills, we will live and also do this or that. But as it is, you boast in your arrogance. All such boasting is evil. Therefore, to one who knows the right thing to do and does not do it, to him it is a sin. All right, so we're going to hop into the devotional here real quick, but I wanted to go through a little bit of the commentary that we had on this, especially that last verse 17, because at times we think about sin as what we do in violation of God's law. However, Scripture is clear that we sin against Him whenever we do not do His will, which includes knowing the right thing to do and not doing it. We come across that a lot of times, right? Don't we? We know the right thing to do, but we just don't do it. So, in that case, partial obedience is disobedience, and that's a nice twist on that. That if you're just partially obedient, well, no, you're not partially obedient. You're disobedient. You're in disobedience. Therefore, when God motivates us to serve Him in some way, we should never ignore it. We should obey Him, knowing that He will certainly bless our obedience. Good stuff there. Well, few things in life are accomplished by accident. I think we'll all agree with that, which is why it's important for us to set specific goals. And we've gone over that in A to B for me. We had the 25 ways to keep your New Year's resolutions, and I hope that's going pretty well. I think next week is officially the day that New Year's resolutions die, but hopefully they're still going for you. But however, in our planning, we should always seek the Lord's guidance and not simply aim for our own earthly ambitions. And I know in the journal it's very important. I put in mind a couple of things. One is, or something greater in my goals. Just I want to keep a little buffer out there for things to be better than what I'm setting, and also within God's will. Those are two very important things I think you should probably put into your goals and your affirmations. But whenever a new goal comes to mind, we should consider whether it is in line with God's will. Some topics may be scripturally clear, but many are not. So we must also examine our motives. Are we seeking to please God or ourselves? Are we pursuing money, power, or self advancement without considering its pitfalls? And we see that in Timothy. This is the old famous verse that gets misquoted so many times. But those who want to get rich fall into temptation, a snare, and many foolish and harmful desires, which plunge men into ruin and destruction. For the love of money is a root of all sorts of evil, and some by way longing for it have wandered away from the faith and pierced themselves with many griefs. So it's the love of money that's the root of all sorts of evil. I think we realize that. And some, by longing for it, have wandered away from the faith and pierced themselves with many griefs. And I'm sure you know a lot of folks. There are a lot of examples of that out there, but it's okay to want good things, but just don't fall into temptation and the snare that many foolish and harmful desires will plunge you into ruin and destruction. So, does the desire for holiness and God's glory influence our plans? I think that's got to be part of your goal planning. What's more, we must hold our goals loosely in case God, in His providence, changes them. As Christians, we are servants of Christ and should readily yield to Him. So if our plans are upended, we must ultimately trust the Lord's goodness, omniscience, and wisdom because he alone knows the best path for us. Remember, the Lord is more interested in your spiritual growth than in your temporal success. But if your goals are truly of God, they will advance your maturity as a Christian. So evaluate them honestly with a willingness to let them go. So think about that when you're saying your goal. You just say, man, I've been wanting this forever and ever and ever and ever, just never happens. Well, there might be a reason for that. So reach out in prayer and see if you can get that resolved with you know who. So get after that. But some good thoughts on setting your goals. So I wanted to share that with you today. If you're in Bible in 1 year with me, Genesis 20 through 23 tonight, we're going to be talking a little bit about Abraham. We got a little birth coming up in Genesis, I think 21, and then a little bit more about Abram and Sarah in there. So check that out. But anyway, have a great rest of the Wednesday. And as always, remember, God is in control. We'll talk to you later. Have a great one. Bye.